What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man, and we back in these work streets. We back in these work streets. Hey, it's Friday. We had a game yesterday, Cowboys Giants. Cowboys pulled it out 20-15. 2-2 now, as they got a good 10 days off, getting ready to prepare for them Pittsburgh Steelers, one of my most hated teams, my top 5 most hated teams. So definitely be interesting when they play that game. But let's talk about this game. I know you heard it from 3,295 people on Cowboys Spaces, but you haven't heard it from me. So let's get into it. So, first of all, I wasn't impressed by that victory yesterday, but they won, and that's the good thing. Cowboys are 2-2. That's the good thing. Not impressed by that victory, but at no time did I ever feel like the Giants were ever going to win it because Dallas got a stranglehold on them. That'll be 13 straight. That got 13 straight wins against them. So at no time did I ever fear the Giants because you ain't winning 13 straight games now. Like Maurice Jones-Drew said, I'm a history buff, and I'm a history major. And history says Dallas be kicking the Giants' ass. So at no time was I scared. No matter what Daniel Jones was doing, almost over 300 yards, Malik Neighbors, who's a damn good rookie, I still wasn't worried that they were going to win. And guess what? That was the difference. Dallas scored touchdowns. They scored field goals. You got Daniel Jones as your quarterback. You can't get in the end zone. I ain't scared of no Daniel Jones, and I never will be, no matter what they say he's ever turned the corner, or these Giants. They got some players, okay? They got some pieces. They got some players, but ain't nobody fearing the Giants, and they ain't a good team to me, okay? So let's talk about the offense right quick. Obviously, Dak did his thing. I feel like he's the one that really won the game, if we're talking about it. Over 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, was just surging. Oh, that's what I was the word. Surgical. That's what I was looking for. That was a great pass he threw. That was a dime he threw to CD, and he was throwing some really good tight passes in some tight windows, and that's what they've been talking about, the tight windows. Got to stop having those tight windows for the Dallas Cowboys. It's got to stop making it hard for Dak Prescott. But at the end of the day, his 2 touchdown passes, they were really the difference in the game. And honestly, the difference in the game was Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones. That's why the game was won. Dak Prescott was better than Daniel Jones. He scored touchdowns. Daniel Jones got field goals, and that's what it is. But offensive line, Cooper Beebe, 2 straight games, no pressures. Continue to take that next step as your starting center. Rookie center, I don't know if that's going to be his position going forward, but that man is nice. And a lot of the people that were saying highly intelligent, powerful, things of that nature, you saw it all in that game. And kudos to him continue to step his game up and be good. I mean, he created holes for Ezekiel Elliott. He created holes for Rico Dowdell up that middle. That was his doing. So you're excited about that young rookie. Tyler Guyton, let's talk about him. Had a couple of holding penalties, gave up a sack. I knew this was going to happen with Tyler Guyton. I said this was going to happen. When Dallas drafted him, I said, hey, this dude got a lot of potential, got all the measurables, but he going to struggle. Throwing him in the fire, never playing left tackle, played right tackle in college. Obviously, we know, I feel like he can definitely do it, and I think he's going to be a very good player. But I said he was going to take his lumps. He was going to take his lumps. I said that before the season started, he was going to take his lumps. And he's taking them now. Obviously, he's got to get stronger. He's got to keep his arms extended. He's got to be able to use his length to keep those guys away from him and getting inside him and getting into his chest to where they can be able to manipulate him. Better foot technique. Gets sloppy at times. But I like it. Like I said, I knew this was going to happen with Tyler Guyton, so I'm not mad or frustrated about it. Yes, he may have cost some things, but he's going to be good. This is what you're going to have to roll with because you don't really have no options behind him. Got to continue to encourage him, and I think that will continue to come along. But growing pains all year for him. I believe it. Offensively, CD Lamb did his thing. Him and Dak's connection looked great. Dak came in feeding him early, feeding the beast early, and CD Lamb really came through. Shout out to him for, taking, his thing and say, hey, my mistake for me going off against the Ravens. I apologize. I own it. Let's turn the corner. Let's be that. I personally don't want to hear no more of that. mouth from CD Lamb about that. You get what I'm saying? Because you keep apologizing, but you keep doing it. So I don't want to hear your apologies no more. I'm glad he will stand up with it, but I don't want to hear them apologies no more. Just chill out and grow up and do what you need to do as the leader of the team, okay? Stop having them goofy-ass outbursts. I don't mind you having outbursts, but, bro, you got to be a leader. You be pouting too much. So I really ain't listening to your sorries no more. Just stop doing it, because you do it again, you say sorry. Ain't nobody listening to that trash. But I'm glad he turned up and did his thing. Brandon Cooks. I said Brandon Cooks, nobody's fearing Brandon Cooks any longer. You know, he was that guy maybe a few years ago, but he's not that guy now. And Jalen Tolbert continues to step up. I wonder if they flipped him 2 Jalen, 3 Cooks, because right now, Cooks ain't really giving you that. He's really a go route guy. You know, he's extend the field guy. He ain't doing anything else. And that's where Tolbert is better. I feel like Tolbert can get you deep, and he can work you underneath. So I feel like they need to figure out that, because Tolbert is stepping his game up the way we want it. So kudos for Jalen Tolbert for continuing to step his game up. He looked good last night. He's continued to play good, and I like what he's bringing to the table. So shout out to Jalen Tolbert. Jake Ferguson, I don't really got nothing to say about Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson is your steady tight end. I think he's the most targeted tight end in the league right now. He's steady. He's a dog. He's going to do everything you need. So you don't really need to say nothing about him. He's just steady and going to do what you need. But guess what? These other 2 tight ends, John Stevens, who everybody was hyping. I was hyped about him a year ago before he got injured. Everybody been hyping him. And that Brevin Span Ford kid, you cut my dude Julius Woods for him? Y'all cut Julius Woods for him. That's crazy. I'm frustrated about that one. Shouldn't have did that. But it is what it is. That was a big mistake though, Cowboys. You kept Donovan Wilson, who you should have traded. Brevin Span Ford, what? You could have cut him and he would have stayed on the practice squad. You should have kept my boy Julius. And then Izzy Mukamu. Y'all ain't even playing him. Y'all was playing that dude that y'all got off the practice squad, and I can't even pronounce his name. He was playing for Izzy. So I don't know what Izzy did, but y'all kept them 3 and got rid of my boy Julius, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna just voice my opinion about that. That was a dumb move by the Cowboys. Period. But it is what it is. Defensively, let's talk about defense. Michael Parsons, high ankle sprain. DeMarcus Lawrence, we'll see how that foot is. But at the end of the day, no pass rush, no threat. Dan Quinn, I'll talk about the coaches, but at least Dan Quinn got them sacks and turnovers. We didn't like how he would get his ass kicked and try to be all tricky and all that. But he put pressure on that ball. He got after that quarterback, and that was huge. And I don't see that from Zimmer. But like I said, I'll say that to the end, which we're almost coming to. But if we're talking about this defense, wasn't really extremely impressed, except they kept him out the end zone. They were bend, don't break, but it's the Giants. You can't get happy about that. But shout out to Mozzie Smith. I'm not going to say he turned the corner. I'm not going to say Mozzie Smith turned the corner, but that was by far his best game as a pro, okay? I'm going to be pessimistic on you. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, any man who says, I don't even like football, just like hitting people, that's a red flag to me, because you can quit at any time. But at the end of the day, major improvement. By far his best game as a pro. Was playing stout, played with good pad level, played with strength, held the double team, was throwing them guys off of him, flipping running backs. Now, if you say you just want to hit people, I saw that last night. So if I can see that Mozzie every week, I got to feel good going forward. Do I feel like you turned the corner? Do I feel like you're the guy now? Nope, because it's the Giants. But small sample, happy, because you need to play to where that first round status. I said you weren't going to live up to it. Hey, you ain't got to prove me wrong, but a lot of people said you weren't going to live up to it. A lot of people said you were going to be a bust. So maybe you was watching Twitter, maybe you was listening to Twitter, and maybe you was listening to Marcus Spear on Get Up saying you got to stop getting your ass whooped. Maybe you heard it and you took it personal. Whatever happened, that was your best game last night. Continue to do it. Kudos to Mozzie Smith, because you was one of the best players on the defense last night, along with that guy, Demarion Overshown. I made a video about him against the Cleveland game. We saw how he was turning up. He got damn near no snaps against the Saints, and we was all mad. And we see why he needs to be on the field. In that base, in that 4-2-5 nickel, whatever you got to do, he got to stay on the field. That man's closing speed, attitude, the way he hits with power, acceleration, coming downhill, he got everything you want. And I love his attitude. So he be flying everywhere. So shout outs to Demarion Overshown. He had the little injury. I was worried because he was holding his knee, came right back in, and he's just a dog. So shout out to him for being one of the best players on the field last night too. Micah Parsons, like I said, has the high ankle sprain, get better. He has some where he was almost there. But Micah is Micah. So that's what it is. Linebacker play was better because that front line play was better. Carlos Watkins, Linville Joseph, Mozzie Smith, Osa Ogadazua, all those guys did their job. Giants only ran for like 23 yards on 20-something carries, so they averaged like 1 yard a carry. So shout out to them for holding down that run front. But once again, Giants ain't got no run game in my opinion anyway. Devin Singletary, ain't nobody scared of him. And the offensive line is So even though it was good, you got to look who they're playing with. But I ain't going to take away from it because they still stopped him. Malik Neighbors is a dog. He gave Dallas Cowboys fits what we thought it was. Please get Andrew Booth off that field. Don't play Andrew Booth no more. That experiment's over. I don't care. Play somebody. Play the other kid that you just elevated from the practice field with the funny name. Don't play Andrew Booth no more. He is not that. He is not it. Don't play him. He is not it. Get better, Kalen Carson. Do not play Andrew Booth no more. Donovan Wilson, my dog Rome said trade him at the beginning of the season. I was with it. You should have, because he ain't been doing nothing but missing tackles, missing assignments, missing gaps, playing hero ball. Man, the more I watch you, the more I just get frustrated with why the Cowboys kept you, because I said throw you out there for trade bait too, because you ain't going to be here much longer. Maybe a year. This might be your last year. And you could have kept my dog Woods on a cheap 4-year deal. Man, that pisses me off, because Donovan Wilson, you ain't it. The limitations show in coverage, missing tackles. You're just basically, you're one-dimensional, and it gets exposed. So please get Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell. I know he was hurt. Please get them some more snaps, because that safety play is frustrating me. All right, so now let's talk about these coaches. Without getting into all these philosophies and things of that nature, at the end of the day, I need some more creativity. Rico Dowdle had like 45 yards on 9 carries. Zeke looked a little bit explosive. I can say that. I can say he looked a little bit explosive. That running game ain't scaring nobody. But please, get creative to at least you can stay with the run game. Stay with the run game a little bit. You run one time, you get successful, and then you're throwing. So it's like, just figure it out, Cowboys. But at the end of the day, between Mike McCarthy and old man Grandpa Zimmer, I just feel like it's stale now. I feel like I told you I didn't want that old-ass Mike Zimmer. I wanted a younger mind. But, hey, I like this discipline, and I ain't going to keep going to that. But you're not getting pressure on the quarterback. You're not getting sacks. You got turnovers, but that was against the Browns. When you play mediocre teams, maybe you look good. You play good teams, you look bad. So I just don't think those two guys are it. I don't feel like those two guys are taking the Cowboys to any promised land. No. 1-year deal, I'm not renewing no Mike Zimmer. No, you too old. I said he was damn near 70 years old. Nobody wanted no 70-year-old ass defensive coordinator. But it was what it is. And so after this year, don't bring back Mike Zimmer. And after this year, this is lame duck. Mike McCarthy, you're not taking this team nowhere. Shout outs to you for getting them 12-5 win seasons. But you're a coach that can get 10 wins. You can go to a team that's talented and win 10 games because you're a coach like that. But Dallas brought you in to go over the hump. Get the team over the hump. Get the team to the Super Bowl. And you're not doing that. You're not going to do that. So this is the lame duck season. It's over in my opinion. And this is probably your last year for both those coaches. Just move on. I feel like it's lame duck. I don't know if they go to the playoffs. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if it happens. But at the end of the day, I just don't see them two doing anything significant with this team this year and even in the postseason. So it's just a lame duck season still. That has not changed for me. And, just Dallas is 2-2. They beat the Browns and the Giants. Not impressed by that because both those teams aren't good teams. The good teams or decent teams you play, you got your ass kicked. So I feel like that's more what the team of Dallas is, more than the team that you saw with the Giants and Browns of an elite team or a really good team. Dallas is a very average team. And when they go against teams that are probably like them or better, I feel like they're not going to beat them. And I feel like Dak's going to have to play all world and have to play perfect football to win them games. And too many penalties, had 9 penalties in the first half. Just don't feel like they have the elements to take the next level, and it just is what it is. So that's just my thoughts on it, on this game. Like I said, shout out to Dak. He played his ass off. I feel like they won the game because of him. Shout out to the defense for making this bend, don't break, but it was the Giants, so I ain't impressed with that. So, we'll see going forward. They got the Steelers coming up. Guys are hurt right now. We'll see what happens. It's going to be some test. You got Pittsburgh coming up, San Fran, I believe the Eagles. So that's going to be a 3-game test to see where you really at as a team. So that's where you're really going to find out where you're really at. Those next 3 games, to me, is what we're going to find out about this team. Not ultimately at the end, but we're going to figure out if this team is more of a contender or pretender. I think they're more pretender than contender, but these next 3 games will show us. So we'll see. But once again, kudos to Mozzie Smith for playing his best game as a pro. I ain't jumping up like, oh, he's turned the corner. But that is some damn good stuff for going forward in the future. Demarion Overshown's a beast. Elevate some Jalen Tolbert. Dak, continue to do your thing. Maybe get Dotto some more carries. And we'll see what happens. But that's just my quick thoughts on the game. Cowboys win 2015 over the Giants. It is what it is. Cowboys 2-2. On to the next. Big game, James. I'm out. Peace.